Now, some people might say this is a story of two fake prime ministers literally battling it out. And one apparently now has decided that, well, guess what? The Right Honourable current British Prime Minister, Sir Keir Starmer, has let them down. As ever, let me explain. Morning, chums. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining me today, as ever, and welcome one and all brand new subscribers. Nice to have your company. Yes, yeah, are you waving? Absolutely. You have to wave to each other. It's the only way to start the day, in fact, because I consider this a bit of exercise. No, but seriously, it's nice to be polite and etc. I have to say thank you to all the lovely people that I met up in York recently. What a lovely bunch. Very, very friendly place, by the way. Lots of people just say hello, just walking past on the street and stuff. It's nice to hear that again, isn't it? Because particularly where I live in London, everybody's looking down, on the phone, or there's no politeness anymore. I guess everybody's so frightened, as I've told you. It's quite a terrifying city at the moment, but there you go. It's a bit like this particular man who's terrified many people at his recent Labour Party conference up in Liverpool. Keir Starmer. Goodness, who advises Keir Starmer? You could not make a situation any worse, could you, even if you tried? You see, what the point is really about a conference, a big conference get-together, is you have to convince not really the voters, but the people that invest in you, the MPs, etc., that you are the right person for the job. Well, what we can say is what we clearly can see, and many people felt this, was the fact that Keir Starmer is not the right person for the job. And it gets worse really, because not only then do you have your own party turning against you, as I told you the other day, the current health secretary, Wes Streeting, whose partner, Joe Dante, also has a very lucrative attached Labour Party job. You get how this works now, cronyism, right? Well, what is interesting is obviously he came out and said, we want Angela Rayner back, the disgraced Angela Rayner. Totally clueless people. But here's another problem, because now the, Hollywood star, if you want to call him that, Hugh Grant, sat down once again to talk about the problems that he has, and in particular the hacking scandal that he felt blighted his life. Now, I've got a soft spot for you. I think he's a wonderful actor. He's been in some good films, and in particular, we all know him, don't we, for Four Weddings and a Funeral, and of course Notting Hill, the famous Blue Door, of which he portrayed, many other things as well, the fake British Prime Minister. Remember that one? Love Actually. Now, again, where this gets interesting is Hugh's been going on about the intrusion of, the problems that you have when you have this stuff and all of that. And he was apparently going to be taking on the empire that is run by Rupert Murdoch. Now, what's interesting here is the ITV, about a year ago now, made a programme, if you remember, which included Prince Harry, and they were talking about holding the press to account. And then, by the time he'd made the programme, they had to insert the fact that Hugh Grant, of course, had really accepted a full payment. He did not bother to pursue this hacking case. And his thing was that his lawyers had advised him that he'd be, if he lost, he'd be millions in debt, and he didn't want to risk it. Very quickly, a couple of months down the line, Harry basically did the same thing. They capitulated, took the money. Meanwhile, keep going on about the fact of their press intrusion. If they truly believed in that, then they should have pursued it regardless. But of course, this is the situation we're in. Do one thing, say another. You see what I mean? That's the problem. Now, apparently, according to you, Keir Starmer's let him down with the hacking inquiry. Really? You surprised you? Honestly, at this point, are you surprised with anything that Keir Starmer says? And what's interesting is now, when you've got a big name like that, and it's a little bit like, the current mayor of London over here in the United Kingdom and the president of the United States, President Trump, once they have a huge platform, and Hugh Grant has a big platform, as does President Trump. Once they turn against you, this highlights the story. This is the good bit of it, and it highlights the story, and then more people look into it and think, maybe they're not that good. Maybe, for instance, Sadiq Khan isn't running London that well. As I've said, that's why we're grateful to President Trump. For Hugh Grant, sitting down with ITV, this is just sort of fodder, story killing time, and of course something to put online. But the bottom line now for Keir is you're getting attacked from every single corner. People in your own party, and now a big star like Hugh Grant is basically saying you've left them, the hacking victims, high and dry. When you dig a little bit deeper in defence, I would say many have already settled behind the scenes for many substantial amounts. But of course, that doesn't keep them in the limelight, does it? Neil Shawn, Kensington, London.